All right, let's talk about something we all kind of know, but maybe don't know that we know. If you've ever had a job, you've probably used the words climate and culture to describe the place. You know, the culture there is so toxic, or it's a really positive climate. But what are we actually talking about?
That's the big question, right? Because we throw them around like they're the same thing. They both seem to get at that vibe of a place. But as we're going to see, they're pointing to two really different things. And understanding that difference is a game changer.
And this is so important. They feel connected, for sure, but lumping them together means we miss what's really going on under the hood of an organization. This isn't just about being picky with words. It's about having the right tools to understand why a workplace is the way it is.
So, let's start with the first piece of the puzzle, organizational climate. And honestly, the best way to get this is to think of it as the organization's personality.
Okay, that definition's a little academic, I know. But check out the key words here: experienced and collective perceptions. Climate isn't about some mission statement on a wall. It's about how things feel to the people there. It's that shared sense of what's going on. And that directly impacts how we all show up to work every day.
I love this quote because it just clicks. You know how some people are bubbly and outgoing and others are more quiet and intense? That's their personality. An organization is the same way. Its climate is how it comes across. Is it supportive, high pressure, fun? It's the vibe you pick up on almost right away.
So, the bottom line is this. Climate is the surface level. It's the stuff you can actually see and feel. It's the day-to-day behaviors, the policies in action, the general atmosphere. It's the simple answer to the question, so what's it like working there?
And to make this super concrete, here's what a healthy climate might look like in a school. You'd see things like high morale. Teachers are actually excited to be there. There's a real focus on achievement. The principal has their back and makes sure they have the supplies they need. See, these are all things you can pretty much observe and measure.
Okay, so if climate is the personality, let's go a level deeper. Now we're talking about organizational culture. And if climate is the personality, then culture is the organization's character.
See how the language is shifting? Now we're talking about values, beliefs, and identity. Culture isn't just what people perceive on the surface. It's the invisible glue that holds the whole place together. It's the organization's soul, its internal compass telling everyone what truly matters.
And this is the absolute best way to frame it. Think about it. A person's personality might change a bit depending on their mood or who they're with, but their character, that's who they are at their core. That's culture. It's those deep, fundamental, often unsaid rules about what is good, what is right, and what is real.
And culture isn't just one flat thing. It's got layers, kind of like an onion. Way down at the core, you have these deep, unconscious assumptions, beliefs people don't even know they have. Those assumptions bubble up to become shared values about what's important. And those values create the behavioral norms, the unwritten rules about how you're really supposed to act to fit in.
So if culture is so deep, how does it even get passed on? You can't just write it in a memo. Well, it's communicated through really powerful symbols that are all around us. We're going to look at three big ones: the stories people tell, the icons they display, and the rituals they do together.
First up, stories. Every workplace has its legends, right? Think about that story of the principal who went to war for her teachers. That's not just a cool story. It's a piece of culture in action. It teaches every single person, new and old, that around here, we protect our own. It's a lesson in loyalty you'll never forget.
Then you've got icons. You know that old dusty trophy in the lobby? It might look like just a thing, but it's not. It's a physical symbol. Every time you walk past it, it's a silent reminder of a core cultural value, like a commitment to being the best. It's culture made solid. And finally, rituals. These are huge. That annual staff potluck might seem like just a chance to get free food, but it's so much more. It's a recurring ceremony that reinforces a cultural value, in this case, the idea that we're family. By doing it every year, you are literally performing the culture and making it real.
Okay, we've got climate as the personality and culture as the character. Now let's put them head to head, the showdown. This is where it'll all really lock into place.
So here's the difference in a nutshell. Climate is all about perceptions. It asks, how do we act around here?
Culture is all about assumptions. It asks a much deeper question. What do we truly believe around here? One is what you see, the other is what's in the heart of the place. And what's wild is how this split goes all the way down to their academic roots. Look at this. Climate comes out of psychology. You measure it with surveys and stats, very concrete. But culture? That comes from anthropology, studying people like a tribe, using deep observation to understand abstract beliefs. They really are two different lenses for looking at the very same place.
Okay, so at this point you might be thinking, this is interesting and all, but so what? Why does this distinction really matter in the real world?
It matters a ton, because this isn't just about winning a debate. It's about having two different toolkits for making things better. If you want to make a quick change to behavior, you might focus on improving the climate. But if you want to make a deep, lasting change, you absolutely have to dig into the culture.
Maybe the coolest takeaway is that we don't even have to pick a side. The source makes this awesome point that the tension between these two ideas, the psychology view versus the anthropology view, is actually a good thing. It's healthy. It forces us all to think more creatively about how our workplaces work.
So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. Think about your own workplace, your office, your school, your team. What's its personality, its climate, and what's its true, deep-down character, its culture? And here's the real kicker. Do they match? The answer to that question tells you just about everything you need to know.